Hey everybody, this is Andy from Ant Panda. So this is a review of what you see behind me, which is a little bit new, known as the Atmoph Window 2. This is a product that is sold from a company in Japan called Atmoph. It's like atmosphere, but they just don't finish the atmosphere. It's A-T-M-O-P-H. And what it is it's considered a 4K fancy smart display. And I've had it for probably about 6 days now, and you'll notice that, well, maybe not the best because my camera's overexposing it, making it a little bright, that the scene that is behind me is actually from the world of Death Stranding. Right now they have a Death Stranding edition where they include the window, the blue frame, which has bridges on the side, which is similar to what this little card has here. And this little card actually is what comes included with the Atmoph Death Stranding Edition Pass. And what it is, in probably the best, fairer sense, is this particular smart display, which I'll go over with you, has over 1,200 different views. And actually the display itself is run by a application on the handset of any device that you have. I believe it's iPhone and Android, they have it available. There's also 3 little switches here that you can barely see, but what we're going to do is I will go ahead and run through the unboxing, since I recorded all the unboxing of opening the window, go through the startup process, and then also show some of the features that it has included. And while I'm showing those features, I'll go ahead and tell you my thoughts at the end. Alright, just received the Atmoph Window 2. This is going to be the window and accessories that come with it, which includes the frame of it as we unbox this and take a look. This is going to be the Death Stranding edition that we ordered online, and already I can see the Death Stranding box that comes included with it. That's very special to the game if you've ever played Death Stranding. Obviously nothing left there. Look at that. That's pretty rad. It's got the tampered with. It's got obviously the shipping label, that futuristic, all in accordance to Death Stranding if you've ever seen it. Alright, and then while I'm here, we'll go ahead and open this up pretty carefully here. It's nice strong cardboard too, so this is like something you can house your window in, I think, later on. And it's not like something easy to break. It's really, really hard and difficult, which is pretty awesome. And then this is going to be the bridges frame that I'm trying to carefully remove. Just gonna pull this out here. Leave that here. And then as we open this up, Kojima Productions, obviously. Hideo Kojima, Atmoph Inc. And then yeah, nice one piece here. This keeps it kind of flared out during shipping. And then yeah, it's got the blue with the bridges on the side. Just on the one side. Next, we're going to take this and also pop open the window, which it comes in this other box. So let me go ahead and put this over to the side here. We're going to do a little social media post with that because Atmoph is doing that right now. And that way we can actually put the frame together. That's pretty awesome. Really like that they did that. It's the little things, really. The small kind of cardboard pieces like that. Alright. And then this is the Atmoph Window 2 that it comes in. Nice, kind of colorful. And then I just preemptively kind of open this a little bit just to make sure. And we'll take this out. Alright. Might take a little gusto to get out of here. All right, and then this is the window itself, which is all encased in plastic. With the back here. And this comes included with the basic white frame. Which is also wooden as well. Give you that wooden finish. And that's what it is. Let's see here. So we're gonna take this part off for now, since we're gonna put the other one on. All right, and then this is the window casing itself, which has everything here. In order to get the additional options that we have included, we're gonna put in the Death Stranding Edition Pass, which is really cool. It shows all of the environments you actually get included, which includes a distribution center south of Lake Knot City, South Knot City ruins, road over the river, Mountain Knot City beach, which is well known in the game, and also the Timefall farm, which usually creates your beer for the Timefall beer. And then this is going to be the card, the Bridges card. Yeah, and this is only used for the Atmoph Window 2. You will need to register an Atmoph account in your Atmoph Window 2 in order to use it. So I guess before we put that in there, I'm going to need to register this stuff. So first we need to turn on and update this, and then go from there. All right, come included with this is going to be the AC adapter box. And then of course the startup guide has a little sticker here. Kind of the wood frame, basic frame and such. And then this talks about this here. So we get the frame lock we need to unhook. Gotta put that in the AC adapter. And then follow the steps included. That's about it though. And the rest of this is in and such. All right. Yeah, that's the AC adapter. I guess so let's go ahead and get her hooked up here. This is going to come included with the power block here, which will go right here on the underside. And then if you of course live in the US is going to have this included. Of course, if you live anywhere else, they give you the alternate adapter for what works for you. So obviously if you live Japan, Europe, they will give you the appropriate adapter for it. So before I plug that in, let's turn this around here. Oh, it starts right up there. Just position this a little better, folks to see. Nice, bright, beautiful. Very, very huge as far as colors go. All right, the buttons are going to actually be located right here it's basically got instructions here. Obviously we're gonna do English. Choose your Wi-Fi. All right, we're back at it. So we're putting in everything. It's gonna do a system update from the looks of it. Let's go ahead and update now. Got a bear on it. Bear on it with a package. Boom, boom. It's gonna double check the system, looks like. All right, we got the versions up to date. And user agreement. Agreed to and will not permit to reverse engineer, decompile, disassemble, or duplicate any company software. Article 4 disclaimer, privacy agreement terms. Restrictions on use, copyright, and license for use. All this good stuff that you agreed to rent everything. So I'm gonna go through the sign up process. All right, looks like after you kind of set everything up, you have what is called your limitless plan. Views anytime or set the views to change automatically. You get a single panorama or panorama plus with a monthly fee. You get the first month free. You get unlimited over 1,200 views, auto mode, live streaming, upload, which is coming, and devices per the account. I guess for now, since I've only got a single one, I'm just gonna do the single plan. So I guess we'll go ahead and register this then next. All right, let's try that again. Everything died. So yeah, I'm gonna say I'm a little deterred that when I got this, that it included basically forcing you to confirm a plan in order to continue through the process. However, if it does allow you at the end of this to basically use the stuff and premium content that you have included, then I'll be okay with this. You just have to make sure you just go ahead and cancel. But I will say that feels a little, not really the biggest fan of it forcing you to do a plan. Granted, $9 a month isn't too terrible. So we'll see if it's actually worth it and go from there. All right, so now basically I gotta use my phone to get the app and such. All right, I got everything kind of set up and I'm getting kind of a gist of everything. And what I'm gonna do now is basically put the frame on it. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna show you some of the images here, which is actually kind of pretty cool. So this is the 4K resolution of the world of Death Stranding at one of the ruins. And while I do that, let me just put this frame on. It should be fairly straightforward. You kind of just put it on there, squeeze it in, and then you make sure that it clamps right on the areas on the side here. And same as that. And that's it. Not much else to it other than that. But as you can see, it's definitely 4K and it's stuttering a little bit, which is kind of something that's part of this, which is interesting. So as you actually add views to the Atmos window, it's basically going to stutter until it's fully downloaded, which is what you can see right here. The interesting thing is this thing has a ton of views and things that you can download. And as you can see here with selecting this, you can actually favorite a lot of these different views. You can do the Death Stranding playlist, which if you go here, you can get all the views that we saw on the back of the card, which we'll just go ahead and do the beach next. Obviously, I'm going to favorite all of these Death Stranding views. I don't really know too much yet. I know you can change kind of the placement of what you're viewing. If you hit next, left, and right, you actually switch to the different views here. it won't go completely in order either. This will be the other ones that come included, which, if you can see here, it's quite beautiful on the texture and, you know, the 4K resolution that you're seeing here. But since those other views aren't fully downloaded yet, it's probably not gonna scroll to them yet. So I probably have to download and favorite all of them before I can start doing that. So let's go back to the beach here, into the world of the dead. Now, as it shows here, if you have 3 of these, it will actually show all 3 sides of it at once. But yeah, as you can see, you've got kind of the dead whales there and the dead marine life like you see in the world of Death Stranding. And yeah, it's stuttering a little bit because it's downloading based on kind of the Wi-Fi connection, which I won't say is the best, but it's decent. It's a decent amount. But yeah, you can see the death strands right there, and how you have the beach waves kind of coming in, and it actually looks very good, very pretty and beautiful and serene. Some of the other views and stuff that you were seeing there, you can have included, and it just looks amazing. But we'll wait until this fully downloads, and then we'll just kind of give this a view here. Alright, it's fully downloaded here, so we're going to look through some of these things here as I'm just kind of going through the widgets. Kind of navigating with this thing is interesting. So when you go onto here, you can go to each section as you navigate, and then when you go down here to things like quick widgets, you can add widgets such as the clock, a view, weather, calendar. Honestly though, I'm going to use it for kind of what it is right now, and it looks like they have room basically for different things here. So they've got the panoramic view for wide, which is all you're going to get, and then you can select which view for the position, which I want to do the medium or the middle one, which is what I'm going for. This is also going to be for when, obviously there's none there. But if you ever end up getting 3, then you'll have that there. So we'll save that. Failed to create a group. Okay. Well, that's just, I guess, if you're going to implement it, maybe it won't work. One thing you're noticing is that I'm having issues with, I guess it won't let you actually do that without just 3, so. So we're going to go back to that. Sound, we'll leave that sound there. We'll leave it right in the middle. I think there's got to be a quick action to turn that off if I were to do that. I mean, we'll add that later. So you can actually schedule it to wake, go to sleep, or you can even change the view in a different interval. I'm gonna leave it like this for now though. You can even change daily routines, which is interesting. Let's see, different apps. So that's the calendar, weather app. What's new? Looks like they added the Chicago River incense gift campaign. Within Japan only, so they got Japan specific stuff. Workshops, Japanese traditional crafts, so you can actually get the views there at the incense workshops, which is actually kind of cool. Network service maintenance. And then Marriott, the Aladdin Edition pass, which I heard about. Snow at the
Toyotaki River. They have everything in here, which is cool. And then this, of course, is the Death Stranding window. Oh, found a nice little crash there. Could be because of the fact that I'm maybe clicking all sorts of buttons. But yeah, it looks like some of the software though needs a little help. But they have a ton of views from what it looks like. So this is all the new stuff that you can actually download and get a hold of, which is cool. So the incense workshops that they were referring to. Some are panoramic, some are just single. We'll go to popular. Oh, that's cool. I'm probably gonna have to download some of that. Obviously a fireplace, because, you know, for the different seasons. Yeah, Earth scene from space. It's probably definitely going to be including on that. Live streaming, so actual live streaming of stuff happening right now, I suppose. So this is going to be areas to that on the views. You can also hit the playlist. Death Stranding, obviously, we looked at, and then if we go to night, this will show some night views that are having included. And this is just a playlist. This plays, you can actually make it so it downloads like Fireplace at Christmas. You can actually make this random so it rotates through and picks a random one and then downloads it. Undersea, underwater stuff, a lot of stuff. So planets, let's just take a look here. So from the outskirts, very high levels. Not all of this is planet. Well, I guess it's planets in the sense of different parts of the planet, I suppose. A plane wreck, jellyfish at Kyoto Aquarium, the Andromeda Galaxy. That's cool. Let's just take a gander here. I'll go ahead and show some of the application stuff as well. Now, as I was showing you before in the startup, there is 3 buttons there. And what these 3 buttons actually do is it brings you to the window that's here, that's shown. You can favorite your view, you can select views, you can do an auto, which I actually, kind of one of the issues and problems that I have with this is that it will actually automatically give you a nice view to look at, which is really cool. And then playlist. Just like a playlist with music, you can actually set up a playlist for your views. And in doing so, you can actually select any one of these. Your favorites is obviously the favorites that you put included. And then there's a bunch of other ones. So Death Stranding is one, Relax, Night, Undersea, and Sea. There's some apps you can have included, like a calendar, weather, and today. Personally, I'm not a big fan of having apps over my stuff, but maybe the time isn't so bad. And then they have a quick menu, and so you can actually activate your widgets if you have them set up. You can set up a daily routine, which means you can automatically set the window to do what you need to. You can increase the volume if you can't hear the volume currently. You can make it louder. You can improve and brighten up the actual window if you want to. And then the beauty is you can also include decorations. And the decorations themselves can be anything from nothing. You got a window on the other side, another type of window variants, some blinds, all this stuff, which is actually quite cool and goes with a different theme either of holidays or whatever it is that you're viewing. So like Christmas, Valentine's, Halloween, space, because there are some space views, or nothing. And then there is an option, if you so choose, where you can only have the sound if you want to. So the widgets are here. This is so that you can incorporate clock, you can have views.
of how many views actually happen on the views itself. I'll get to that in just a second. The location, of where you're located, or for the view itself, the weather, the weather of today and weather across days and hours, and then different calendar apps that you can incorporate if you really wanted to use that. Settings, this is where the interesting part gets into. You can have general, which has got all that stuff we were kind of explaining, date and time, language, sound, and then panorama. So what I've noticed is that with some of these views is that there are 3 different views that you can choose from. If you have 2 or even 3 windows, you can actually incorporate a panorama view of how you want the views to show on each video, or I'm sorry, on each window for each video. The problem is if you have 1 window, you're not gonna have this option. The other thing too that's a little annoying, and it's something I'm actually currently having a kind of a tiffy with, is that you can't change the position with your single window. And then of course button actions. So you can actually purchase a remote to use for the window, or you can actually make it so you choose those 3 here and have them different things if you do to, you know, long pressing. So the universal way of going back is double clicking really fast. Account, this was another thing that I kind of ran into, incorporated with the views on the onboarding process. And a bunch of other system stuff. So there's like a sleep, you can reboot, all that stuff. Legal, licensing, of course, factory reset, and of course networking. So there is a module setting. This is if you decide to get the module add-on, which I don't have. You can get that, I think, with an extra 30. Account is also what's included in settings. What's new is actually the thing where they show the new views when they're introduced and added. So for this latest update, it's 2.16, it's Chicago. They added some new views that are incorporated there, as well as everything historically. Service maintenance, Marriott, and then of course Aladdin. So a lot of different options. And then of course support if you need to get in touch with them. So let's go ahead and change a view real quick, and I'll show you some of the great spectacular views that I have. I actually have a bunch of favorites that I can show. So one of the funny things is they have something just as nearly simple as something as a napping cat in Japan. And literally this cat is just napping on the outside on this bench with a cigarette at the bottom. So you get some views that are like this. They're just as simple and pretty effective, I would say, in my position, where it's enjoyable to listen to and incorporate. We can go to the next one in the list. So you can go to something pretty amazing and interesting, and that's the aurora and, you know, kind of Iceland. So the aurora lights, as you can see here, it's got nice sound to it and everything. Let's see if I got another. You do tea rooms just like I do in Japan. It's a nice calming setting. Another kind of night one with the twilight ports in Greece. And as you can see here, the video is pretty amazing. The detail is wonderful. The sights and views are pretty spectacular, and the sounds are there. Snowy time, in case you're big into the snow and it's cold temperatures. And then more Death Stranding stuff, which is why Death Stranding is pretty incredible to play, because it's just got a ton of beautiful views, which is what actually kind of brought me to this Atmoph window to begin with. So even camping grounds on the beach, JW Marriott, lounge and bar, Mount Fuji in winter. Let's see if I can find something more.
So this is South Knot City ruins of Death Stranding, which is cool. Oh, so now it's going to the next one. Oh! Holy sweet mother. Wow, I just discovered something really cool. So this is, I guess, the way to actually switch it around, which is actually not something, interestingly enough, not written anywhere for me to notice. So in order to switch perspectives, it looks like you just do the back function on the buttons there in order to actually move it. So this is the middle portion of South Knot City. So let's say we want to go to the right one. I think we just do it that way. Yeah, it goes to the right side. That's fantastic. All right, I'll take that back. It looks like they have something for it. It's just not readily available, and it's something you don't talk about. But as you can see there, there's a BT that's in the distance, and it's in the city. And what you're gonna notice is right now, because it's stuttering, and the reason why it's stuttering is because of the fact when you get a view and you actually have it on your window to start, it downloads the information, because that's why it's stuttering such as it is. And it takes a little bit to actually download that information. So it's gonna stutter, the sound is gonna cut off here and there, and sometimes you may just get, well, pretty much all of these images are just gonna be very, very, very less specific and less detailed. But as you can see, as it starts to download, it starts to get smoother and things will start to show. So this is the only complaint I really have, but it's not really a knock against them. I'm actually been quite impressed with it because I've put it through the paces. I've downloaded or pulled up a lot of different views that I just got for the first time, but it won't crash or anything, which is good, which means they actually tested their software pretty well. So it may get annoying, but you get used to it. So in case you just don't want to go through a playlist, you can actually go and, well, let's go back just a smidge. So let's say you want to look through some other types. You can actually go straight to the default playlists here that they have incorporated that show you different views that are included. And I picked flowers. I don't want flowers, I want planet. So there's also space views from, you know, the International Space Station that's included, but they also have some wondrous areas here. So I'm a big space guy. I do like space views, so it is pretty fun to watch. And yeah, it just they kind of give you that little humming sound. It's mostly usually from like a science fiction type thing, but that could be the sound. I don't know what a real sound of our current spaceships are in space are like, but it's really cool. The planet rotates, some of space you can see, and then there's also some default ones, like they included like one of Andromeda. So they'll have popular categories. So all of this is part of their modularized type of application. And what's cool is when you first get this, they do say that if you want to continue to get new updated views, if you want to get new ones, you have to subscribe to what they call their limitless plan. And you know, it's not super egregious. It's $10, $9.99 a month. And what it is that it gives you basically this one window license, so that you can download as many of these as you want, and it can actually have it as part of it, and you can favorite, create different playlists, and whichever. The other thing they do have is live streaming. So they have actual views like the office of where this is made, rocket test site, and all that stuff, where you can actually see what it's like in real life. You can also search, and you can search by either typing it in, which actually the search for this is quite incredible. It is it is kind of painful with the buttons, so you can use the application that's built in, or you can go to these other additional categories. So town, architecture, temple, trains, more about Japan, some music, Egypt. So there are tons of different things, even castles, that'll have incorporated here. So it's up to you how much and how little, or how massive you want this to be. So for instance, we can look at the Andromeda Galaxy, even though technically the Andromeda Galaxy probably can't get a full like video picture of, but you can at least get one that's pretty gorgeous and detailed. And what they'll do is they'll add some animation in there that'll make it move around, shooting stars and things of that nature. That's when some of these decorations can come in. So if you go to widgets, or yeah, quick menu actually, let's say we go to decorations, you can do that, and there you have it. No, see, that's fun. And there you have it. You're out in space with the Andromeda Galaxy you're looking at. Of course, this is just part of the fun.
All right, well, that's kind of all the features, functions, and everything I've talked about, as well as the unboxing for the Atmoph Window 2. And I have to say, I'm quite impressed. I mean, they even went as far as including it being packaged in this, which is very much a Death Stranding kind of branded package, which is really cool. And if you're a fan of Death Stranding, you will know what this means, and you will love it for what it is. I guess let me turn that down. With all of that included, though, what are my impressions? Probably is what you're looking forward to most of all. It's pretty good. So I was a little hesitant on purchasing the Atmoph Window. It is a pretty incredible device, and it is something pretty incredible that's a good addition either to, you know, your streaming room, your office, your bedroom, whatever works. The beautiful part of it is that it is a smart 4K window, and the views and content that's included with it is quite astonishing. And having even the Death Stranding kind of stuff that I have here, the real life pictures of out in space, you know, kind of the live streaming and different views of the world, especially during this time in COVID, it's pretty amazing. It is something that is a little extra costly, so it's more in the kind of the want category more than the need category. Obviously, we're all dealing with the hardships of everything that's going on, and that's cool. This is a nice addition or nice thing to have as a one-time kind of, you know, present sort of thing that keeps on paying itself. And with it, I definitely am going to get the money back on this, probably tenfold, because of how much I love it. When I get up in the morning, I go to work. I have a routine where I hear on my computer, I'm going to work, working on stuff, and I love having this thing on. And you have so many options based on how you're doing in mood. And some mornings I want something snowy. Some mornings when I go to work, sometimes I want to have the cat napping. Sometimes I want something snowy, and sometimes I want even maybe a cafe of people around me in ambience. And honestly, it's amazing because it's not only great to look at, but it's also great to listen to, because it just feels like it helps you, make you feel like you're in a different place. And honestly, sometimes you kind of need that with the way that everyone's kind of staying in because of COVID and all the things we're doing. So this was a fantastic addition to my office. So pros are, it's a fantastic LCD screen, very detailed, very lit up, sounds great, and it's actually quite easy to set up. I was a little bit impressed with how easy it was. That's not to say I didn't have issues along the way here and there I just needed answers to, which you just found out. I found out something new just having this thing for a week that I didn't realize it was included. So it is wonderful. I wouldn't really say it's more like cons, but more like kind of the obstacles for if you're looking to find reasons not to purchase this. One thing is the price. A lot of times people can't swallow the price for a smart display like this. It's $519 plus tax. It is expensive. That's more than probably most big screen TVs. In comparison, it's more than some of the new consoles coming out. It's about the same price as a Steam Deck. So take it for what you will. It's based on the value that you give it, that you're willing to purchase for something like this. and I think it is kind of high, but not by much. By all the beautiful things that it does and all the great things that it can do and that it offers, it definitely pays for itself over time. That being said, the gripes that I have is the software is not perfect. Actually, it's pretty responsive now after playing with it for a bit. I was a little jarred with it a little bit because of the stuttering and stuff, but honestly, because it has to download so much information, 4K video, if you're a photographer or a YouTuber, content creator, you know that 4K takes a lot of juice as far as bits and as far as memory, and also the same thing with sound quality and making that kind of work together perfectly. It takes a little bit just to download. I'd say the Wi-Fi kind of interruption where it's downloading the information, it depends what type of looping video it is. So if there's a lot of activity, which means a lot of images and scenes, it's going to take longer. So if the content's bigger, if the content's smaller, it doesn't take very long. I'd say anywhere from 2 minutes to 2 to 10 minutes, most likely, is probably the best range that I can give you. And honestly, it downloads it seamlessly, and I put it through pretty hard, so props to the software there. With that being said, I mean, we just discovered something new. There are some things hidden in this thing that you just have to discover for yourself, and it's hard to explain each and every secret feature or features of something to a consumer, so I could probably give them a pass when it comes to that. So that would be the second piece, is the software. And then the third piece that kind of took me a little bit by surprise, which it did throw me off. It didn't really piss me off, but it did throw me off just a little bit when learning about it. And that was the limitless programs. I get it. Totally understand why a business would do this. They're saying, hey, here's over 2,000 different views, and you can download them, and we're adding more every month and things of that nature. Every new thing, you get full access to it, and it's $9.99 a month. I guess it's really up to you how valuable you think that is. Personally, to me, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that price is actually fine for the amount of content you get. I will have an issue with it if we don't get more content continuously. But because of the amount of content there is, and the more they keep adding, like I've only had this a week, they've already added some more. $9.99 sounds fair. It does go up a little bit higher if you need more. The second tier, which I don't know what that is off the top of my head, I think it's $15, so like $14.99 or $19.99 a month. It's one of those two. That does kind of start getting into a little much, in my opinion. I think the device limitation is not really something, I don't like that. I don't really care for that it limits the amount of devices on a per tier level. You know, it's something I deal with in a lot of different software spaces, like, you know, project management software and other things like that, where you have users. I guess that makes sense. But when it comes to hardware, using software incorporated content, I don't think that really should be an issue, because especially since you're just going to get a max of 3, and so that part I'm not really the biggest fan of it. So that's kind of why I consider it more of a challenge. The nice thing is that you can, and this is kind of what threw me off during the onboarding process, is that it basically said that you had to have a plan to move forward. Did not like the way that was presented. If there was a skip option even in the bottom right or something and says, hey, try this out for a month, and hey, you had your credit card in at any time for a lot more views, I would see that going better. But because they force you to during the onboarding process, I was not really a big fan of that. And you see that in the video of the onboarding. So that part probably could use a little, like the business cases of the actual modularization of it, I think could use an improvement, in my opinion. But again, it's a challenge. You gotta ask yourself if the value kind of matches for that. So this is definitely in the want kind of category. It's a fantastic smart display if you're looking for one. It is you could probably come up with certain ways of making something similar yourself, but then again, it comes down to the smart thing. This is all packaged together. This is all connected to the internet. It has its own hard drive. You also get these different passes included that you can get coupons for, which is what that is. You'll get access to content. I will say this, if you do get the limitless plan, they really should incorporate all these different types of passes in there, because right now they have a Star Wars edition, which you can actually get some Star Wars views, like outside of Yoda's hut in Dagobah, the Death Star kind of space scene with all the Imperial ships. There's also Aladdin as part of the Disney package. So there's a few different edition passes they have that are included in their fun, and they're modularizing it in such a way where you can't get it through the limitless pass. You actually have to purchase the pass separately for like about $54, which I'm not going to do that for 6 views. That's just way too much money, especially for digital content like that. But I get it. They're copywriting it probably through Disney. I mean, they did this through Kojima Productions, which I'm a huge fan when it comes to incorporating in-game environments into everyday kind of uses like this. So I was all on board when purchasing it. So total slam dunk. Fantastic product, amazing quality. It really is worth the money, and it really does help a lot, especially if you're stuck at home working all the time, which I do a lot, and I enjoy this thing. However, with that being said, some of the cons are it is a bit pricey at $514 plus tax plus shipping, so it's like $80. So at the end, it's probably gonna take you closer to about $600. And then some of the modularizing stuff, I'm not sure I'm a big fan of, but I've seen worse. So take that as you will. So anyway, this was a review of the Atmoph Window 2. If you're already here still and you like the content, I'm going to be doing more reviews on things later. Please hit like down below. Feel free to hit a subscription to get more notifications, and make sure you turn those to all on in order for you to get notified in the next I almost said next video, and we'll talk then. Otherwise, keep on keeping on, like the words of Death Stranding. So I'll catch you next time.